welcome to the Town of Arlington Redevelopment Board meeting on July 6th, 2026. I'd like to call this meeting to order. My name is Ken Lau, and I'm the ARB Chair. Can the other members of the board please introduce themselves? So, Chair.
Shana Corman Houston.
Vincent Beaudoin.
Stephen Revelak.
We are also joined here by Claire Rector, the Director of Planning and Community Development, and Assistant Director Sarah Suarez.
Thank you.
Our first agenda is to review the meeting minutes from June 1st. Do any of the board members have any changes to the minutes? Starting with Steve.
No changes, Mr. Chair.
Nothing for me.
Nothing.
I have none. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes June 1st as submitted for?
So I will move approval of the AR Redevelopment Board meeting minutes from June 1st.
Second.
To get a vote, Steve?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Next agenda item is public hearing docket number 3902, 251 Summer Street. This is a special permit hearing for process hearing. Director Victor, can you introduce the project? I just want to let you know we only have 4 board members today, and I believe the 5th board member will be joining us next week, right? Next meeting.
It's your next meeting on the 20th, yes.
And she can review the meetings today on recording and add to the vote. But you'll need 4 out of 5 or 4 out of 4 for approval. Are you guys okay
yes,
with that?
because, Mr. Chairman, because she can view the tape, and if she signs off, and she can substitute vote. So it'll be 4 out of 5.
Yes.
We're fine to proceed.
Okay. Black, do you want to introduce this?
Sure, I'm happy to. Thank you. This is an application by Calyx Peak of Mass Incorporated to establish a marijuana retail establishment of approximately 1,260 square feet in a shared commercial building at 251 Summer Street within the B4 Vehicular-Oriented Business District. The site consists of 2 parcels under the same ownership. The Town of Arlington adopted zoning amendments to address the sale of marijuana products to adults during a special town meeting on December 5th, 2018. The zoning amendments created new definitions, new use categories, and standards. Since the adoption of these zoning amendments, the Select Board has awarded host community agreements to 2 marijuana retailers. In the fall of 2021, the Select Board opened a process through which the board would determine which operator would be awarded the 3rd and final host community agreement. Calyx Peak applied with the intent to open a marijuana retail establishment at 251 Summer. The site was deemed compliant with the zoning bylaw. The town then awarded Calyx Peak a host community agreement in February 2022. In addition to seeking this EDR special permit from the ARB, Calyx Peak will also need to apply for an operating permit from Arlington Board of Health. Some materials submitted for consideration of this application include the application, existing condition drawings and photos, site plans, existing and proposed floor plans and elevations, the landscaping plans, renderings of project portion 1 and 2 completed, sign and lighting specifications, an impact statement, a community outreach statement, a traffic assessment and update, lead checklist and sustainability narrative, stormwater management statement, host community agreement, and notice of lease. Thank you.
Thank you. Will the applicants please come up and introduce themselves? And you have 10 minutes to present the project.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Mary Winstanley O'Connor. I represent Calyx Peak, the applicant here. With me is Shane Peralt from Kenco Development, the contractor, and James Smith, the architect, and there is a representative from 10X Ben Duke, the project manager. Director Ricker has reviewed the submission. This is going to go into an existing structure. They're going to renovate the property the building that's there. It is a prior non-conforming use due to the rear yard depth, there's inadequate rear yard depth and parking area setbacks. As you can see from the plans, and they will review them, there's substantially more landscaped space and usable open space. Nearly all of this lot is impervious as it exists now. You have the traffic report that indicates how many entries and exits during peak hours. And many of you will recall that this was a gas station at one point in time, which provided substantial in and out traffic. There's going to be a defined curb cut. Right now, there is no sidewalk. The curb cut is very expansive. That will be tailored. There was significant community outreach, and you have that report as well. And some design modifications were made based on that community outreach. You have the traffic analysis, and the traffic engineer has concluded that the project will not have a significant impact on the safety and operation of Summer Street or the surrounding roadways. There has been some opposition and I've reviewed the opposition submitted. I'll just comment on a few things. Town meeting, the voters of Arlington overwhelmingly voted for retail cannabis establishments. The citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts did, and town meeting adopted it, and a B4 site is permitted with a special permit. The other thing I would say to you is that one of the abutters has suggested that this project does not comply with section 5.37A1 because she alleges that a buffer is required, a 15-foot buffer. I would suggest to you that that is not the case, because if you read 5.3.7A1, it says a buffer is required at the time of occupancy of such lot. This occupancy of this lot predated the zoning bylaw. I would suggest to you the sight lines are adequate, the parking is more than required, and this satisfies, and we've submitted the environmental design review criteria. I will not go over it because of time, but you have it all in detail, and I will turn it over to Mr. Peralt, who will go through the PowerPoint.
Thank you.
How are you? My name is Shane Peralt. I own Kenco Development. We work with Calix Peak. We are a general contractor, design build general contractor that has been involved in dispensaries throughout Massachusetts. We've built and designed over 20 dispensaries, including one of Calix's first locations in Swampscott. So just to introduce myself, and then Jim Smith over here is our architect that we partner with that does all of our plans and design throughout these dispensaries. I can go over kind of a breakdown of the existing building and the proposed construction that's going to happen throughout the project. If you want to turn to the next slide. As Mayor mentioned, this is an existing garage and gas station. Currently it's being used as an auto garage and an automobile sales facility. It's currently a single-story building. It's about 1,600 square feet. It's about 16 feet 6 inches high at the top of the parapet. Currently, there's 2 overhead doors in the front, which is where they operate their business doing automotive, and on the right side they operate more of the automobile sales. Go ahead and turn to the next slide. This is the as-built of the existing floor plan, which is 2 pretty large open bays, and then a sales and business office, and a bathroom and storage area. So this is just a representation of what's currently there. And along with the site photos, the current building is the CMU block building constructed with a brick facade on a couple of the front and right side with a asphalt shingle mansard roof, currently at 10 feet high, going up to the top of the parapet. Next slide. This is the current site plan. Like we indicated, majority of the portion of the site is paved and impervious. There is a portion of natural vegetative on the western side and a couple existing trees on the northern side, which are proposed to remain in place. But again, this particular business 7 feet of frontage. It's about 18,700 square feet size lot. Again, majority currently paved and impervious. The curb cut is pretty much the entire front, a few in concrete areas, but pretty much the entire front of the property is open to the property. Next slide. This shows a bird's eye overall breakdown of how the project is going to be split up. It's currently a single tenant operating the automobile business. It's going to be subdivided. The left side is going to be 1,260 square feet. That is going to be the proposed cannabis dispensary. The right side is going to be going to remain the office, bathroom, and sales area for the current landlord. You can see pretty much right down the middle, the site will be somewhat separated. The right side is going to remain as is, as being used for the auto dealership, and the left side is going to be what we're proposing to be for the cannabis, the retail store. Improvements that we're making on the left side of the property is defining a curb cut, 24-foot wide entry for in and out customers. We're going to install curbing all along the front and new sidewalks to tie everything in to create one way in, one way out. There's 13 parking spaces, including one handicap and van accessible parking spot. The overall pavement is going to be reduced, and we're going to create landscaped areas, the front western side, along with in the center where there used to be pavement, so we're going to be moving pavement and installing both lawn area and planting areas, which will go through the plan list. So this is the proposed floor plan. We're going to close in the overhead garage doors and create a single entry at the southwest corner of the building, facing Summer Road, and then that customers will enter the building. That door will be open at all times. They'll enter into a sally port, which is a security checkpoint where they'll be checked for credentials, and then be buzzed into the secure door to go on the sales floor, where they perform their order and the pickup, and they exit out to the same door. Middle portion of the POS area itself, and the rear portion is the back of house, which consists of vault, the shipping and receiving area, along with the break room. We should break down the overall floor plan and flow. This is the new proposed. The building itself, the footprint is not getting any larger. It's remaining the exact same size. The height is going to remain the exact same height at 16 feet 6 inches. There will be a small increase in the height, about 18 inches, just to create a tower in the front left corner with some parapet trim molding to give it a little bit of appeal and identify the entrance of the dispensary. Other than that, all the facade and footprint was going to remain exactly as is, along with the roof structure, roof lines, and the drainage off the back of the building will all remain as is. This is showing a proposed, currently there is a,
You have one more minute.
So get to the landscape plan.
all right, yeah. So this is the proposed monument sign that's going to be installed in lieu of the tall pylon sign that's there. Okay, next slide. This is an elevation of the front. We have a display board over here. It's going to be white siding. We're trying to give it a residential look given the area. White siding, white trim. Next. That's the left side elevation. Next one. And this is the current landscape plan that is there. Obviously, the gray area is the impervious asphalt area. And the next slide will show you an overview of our proposed new landscaped areas, our new tree plantings, along with the new plantings on the front of the building, and the new sidewalks that are connecting to the front.
Thank you. I open this up for the board for any questions. Starting with Shanna.
Yep, thank you for that and for your thorough package. One thing I was hoping you could address was the division of the site. From the renderings you provided, it appeared that that the full site was going to receive improvements. From the plans in the narrative, I wasn't sure that that was correct. Could you speak to site improvements generally?
Yep, if you could pull up the presentation, the colored rendering of the landscape plan, I believe it was the last page
Sure.
in the PowerPoint.
Of course, I exited the PowerPoint. Just give me a second here. Sorry.
Yeah, if you just go to the page before, to get better clarity. Yep. So this is currently the site conditions as it sits today. Like I said, it's pretty much all paved, and really mostly the entire frontage is a curb cut. The site improvements on the next page, the delineation we're making is creating a landscape buffer in the middle of the property. That's going to be the significant divide between the auto sales and the dispensary. That's going to be softened landscaped and creating also our own entrance on the left side. That's going to be delineated by new curbing and new curbing radius into the parking lot along with new sidewalks. So that will be a clear delineation of the two themselves, and then sidewalks that will connect from now the front of Summer Street all the way to the building itself. And then new landscape tree plantings on the left side. We're going to retain the natural vegetation on the left side towards the back corner, and then along the back and looped around to the front. Once the landscaped area stops, that's going to remain as is, as that's a part of the landlord's space for their auto sales.
Okay, so okay, thank you. That's helpful. So let's see. In terms of the parking area, do you know how many parking spaces the landlord's area has for their use? I understand that's not part of this application, but because the site's not being subdivided, it's just useful for me to understand.
I'm not quite sure how they're going to set up obviously the garages are now going to be eliminated, so it's going to be more on the auto sales side. As of now, along the back right corner, they line up cars for sales. I think it's more of a private sales than an open dealership. I'm not sure of their business operations, how many parking spots they'll have, or how they'll delineate that. But our entrance will be clearly delineated. We have 13 parking spots in total. Those are all for the cannabis retail facility. Those are not for landlord. Landlord's parking will be as delineated on the plan on the right side.
Okay, thanks. So over on that side, I saw a loading area. I didn't see a loading space. Do you think it would be possible to stripe the loading area to make clear?
So out of the rear door, back left corner is man door off of the shipping receiving.
Yep.
The cannabis dispensary is distributed with a Sprinter van that will back up to the back door and unload into the shipping and receiving area. There's a concrete pad in the back that is housing a dumpster that will be fenced in and secure. So the idea would be that
Sprinter van would back in and offload, but we can certainly delineate the van offload because there's no parking spots back there. We're leaving it clear for both dumpster removal and offloading for a Sprinter van.
Okay.
So it won't be taking up any of the parking spots, but we can certainly delineate that and hash that area.
Okay, great. Are there curbs or bumpers at the edge of the parking, wheel stops or something of that nature?
The entire perimeter is 6-inch exposed vertical concrete curb.
Okay.
Even at the only place where it's flush is at the ADA ramp, which is in front of the van accessibility, which is a requirement for American Disabilities Act. Other than that, everything is surrounded with a 6-inch concrete curb.
Okay.
So that would generally act as your curb stop.
Great, thanks. I did not notice where the short-term bike parking was on the plan. Could you point it out?
Yep, so there's a mulch, it's in brown, there's a mulch plant air bed in kind of the dead center of the site. And I know it's tough to see, but if you zoom in, there's a elongated sidewalk that comes towards the west, yep, right there. And right there is where we have our design bike parking.
Okay,
And
great.
we knew there was some feedback on the style. I think we decided to go with the inverted U bike parking for 5 temporary spots. And then inside the shipping and receiving, we have 2 wall-mounted bike racks for long-term.
And are those
Lift assist, yeah.
Lift assist?
Yep.
Okay, great. So in terms of the parking lot, I know there's some questions about setbacks around the parking lot. I think, and I know my colleagues are going to want to speak to this. I think that with the fencing type selected, you may not be meeting your parking lot setback requirements, but that a different choice of fencing type might address that. Is that something that the applicant would be open to considering?
Yes, yeah. And currently, the rear of the property has a chain link fence that, once it passes the building, it turns over to a 6-foot vinyl fence. The plan was to install privacy slats in the chain link fence, but certainly amenable to it, removing that and installing a different type of fencing.
Okay. Great, thank you. Let's see. Would you be able to call out a snow storage location on the plan? It looks to me like there certainly are locations for snow storage. If you could identify a place that you think would make sense, that would be very helpful.
So we pulled in the parking lot itself, so we had perimeter snow storage location, but we can certainly delineate that on the plan. Ideally, it's going to be as you push in to the northwest side, west and northwest side.
Okay,
Along with
great.
the
Let's see. So another thing I was wondering about was stormwater management and decreasing the impervious surfaces is great. I appreciate that. You mentioned catch basins in the application. Could you speak to where those are located, or is that still a work in progress?
So currently, again, the site is pretty much completely impervious right now. There's one existing catch basin that's tied into the, it's a existing catch basin with an 18-inch outlet tied into the town sewer, their 24-inch stormwater line. We are going to remove that structure due to, it's currently located, if you actually pull up, do you have the civil set? It's site drawings, but while she's pulling that up, there's an existing structure that is now going to be in a landscaped island, so due to the regrading and the shaping of the parking lot, we are adding a new structure and then tying in the same size 18-inch pipe to the same tap and pitching all of the stormwater in our site to that catch basin. So we'll be capturing all the same amount of stormwater, the same size pipe and unit with less pervious area.
Okay.
And if you want to, just if you go to, down to the grading utilities plan. Nope, next, oh, sorry, it's in the, it's not in the PowerPoint, it's in the civil drawing attachment.
Okay.
She had the list of documents. Yep, right there. Okay, if you zoom in,
Amazing.
it's a little more.
Slide it over if you can.
It shows, let's see, it shows the existing catch basin near the sidewalk tying into the front, and then the new catch basin is in that corner, that V-shaped area, as indicated, where the water will shed and be
Got it.
discharged through the 18-inch pipe as it does now.
Okay, great.
So those are, it's all indicated on the utility drawing.
Okay,
Existing.
great.
18.
So site lighting, can you tell me about site lighting plans?
The plan is to use the same, there are currently 2 existing site poles on the west side. The plan is to use the same site lighting that's there. And then we'll have some building down lights that will light up the entrance of the sidewalk and the entrance of the main store.
And are you aware of what the operating hours of the business are going to be?
Ben, Ben, do you?
I believe the original hours we had submitted were from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., but I would be happy to double check that.
Okay, great. It would be useful to know what the lighting is going to be like after hours. What the site lighting is going to look like when the business is not open. And it would be really useful to have a lighting plan that indicated spill over to the abutters. Both those things would be very helpful to understand impact on neighbors.
Yeah, the existing site lights that are being reused, we're not putting in new fixtures that come with photometrics and are able to lay that design out. We'd have to investigate the existing fixtures and get the photometrics from that manufacturer, but we certainly can do that.
Anything that you're able to provide. I mean, I can drive by at night. I have certainly gone by during the day a number of times. I can make a point to go by at night, but it would also be helpful to see any analysis that you've done. Let's see, just a couple other things. Are you asking for signage approval with this application, or will you be submitting a separate sign permit?
I think everything was submitted with it, the signage.
Okay. The current pylon sign or post sign, the large one, I think the note said it was being relocated. Is that correct?
There's a note on the drawings that was going to be relocated because they were going to look to reuse it. There is a site signage package that was submitted that outlines the updated proposed signage that's in the documents. Currently they're removing the pylon and going to install a monument sign, which we had put up.
Yep.
It's actually in this document here if you wanted to forward a couple pages, but that would be in replacement of the pylon sign. And then there's a sign on the front, a non-illuminated sign on the front and left side that is illuminated by gooseneck downlights. Yeah,
Okay.
right there's the package.
Okay, so that pylon is not is not intended to be moved, it's coming down, it's
Yes.
removed?
Yes.
Okay, great. I could not tell, I could not tell from the signage plans, but I may have missed a sheet, if the vertical placement was appropriate, if there was enough spacing vertically, horizontally, it looked fine. But I may have missed some dimensions. I think you need 12 inches minimum vertically in both directions. So if that's just something to double check, don't need to do it now. And then the last thing I had, and this is something that I'd like to put out both to you and to my colleagues, is I'm not certain about the amount of glazing on the facade and whether the amount of glazing is sufficient. And so, I'd like to sort of ask others to if they could opine on that. I wasn't positive about that. So, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Vincent?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for bringing this in. It's nice to see somebody taking an existing building and doing something new with it and bringing a new business into town. It did occur to me that this site has significantly more redevelopment potential than what's being proposed, but that's not what's before us now, and that's fine. So Shayna was very thorough. I think I'm mostly going to be piggybacking on her questions. So you mentioned a catch basin towards the street, speaking of drainage, but there is also a catch basin towards the back of the site that its connections are unknown, that's proposed to be abandoned. But it's not clear to me whether or not doing that would impact drainage. And, you know, I think it's a question that's out of my ability to resolve, but I would suggest that we have a condition might be that the applicant work with the town engineer to determine a solution, to determine whether abandoning that catch basin is appropriate, and if it's abandoned, you know, does it need to be replaced by something else? Is your capacity adequate, and so forth?
Yeah, our engineer, civil engineer, Mike Deeren, couldn't be here tonight, but he's definitely has done a thorough investigation on the catch basin itself and an attempt to try to figure out where those go. But based off the current grades, everything is grading towards the front of the building, not towards that catch basin. So he's more than amenable to working with the town engineer on the stormwater. But based off our calculations and grades that we shot on the field, everything is draining towards that single catch basin towards the front, which we are replacing with a new to pick up the same amount of runoff.
Yeah, thank you. On the sign illumination, just a question, because the submitted lighting was a sort of a gooseneck fixture that is described as being a floodlight, and it appears to point upwards. And as you probably know, our town bylaws don't allow illumination that points upwards, so I just want to be sure that it's being used in a downward facing.
Sorry, maybe the cut sheet might show it up. It's reversible. It is a downlight.
Right.
The cut sheet itself, I think, might show just for purposes of seeing the structure itself, but it's a elongated downlit. They're installed above. Yeah, there it is. Sorry. Next page. Yes. So it is flipped. They can go either way, but it's going to be installed above the sign and then goosenecking down towards. So it will be downlight directed just towards the sign itself.
Perfect. And I think I heard this, the existing sign that says CW Fuels, that sign will be removed?
The pylon, yes.
And not replaced? Okay. in addition to Shayna's comment about improving the fencing, another alternative or something that we allow for in terms of screening the neighbors is planting evergreens along the property line. You might want to look at that. I noticed that you were planning to keep the vegetation along the hillside. If you wanted to, add some evergreens in there spaced densely enough to create some visual buffer, that might be helpful for the neighbors.
If row planting of arborvitae or green giant is preferable,
I think I just,
open for discussion. We do both. It's more preference on.
We'll see what the rest of the board thinks. I think it's hard for me to tell what exact species are there, if it's a really good vegetation or if it's not. And honestly, it's not really up to me to decide. I'd love it if you would have a landscape architect or somebody just look at that, determine
Certainly, yeah.
which trees are worth keeping and what potential there is for adding some screening vegetation.
Yeah, we would certainly look at what's there currently and also look at the grades too and if the grade might affect that as well.
Thank you. I think my last thing is just to Shayna asked about the glazing. There's a balance here. I don't know exactly what, from the bylaw point of view, what we would require, but also we know that there's concerns about people seeing marijuana activities and that we might not want to increase the amount of glazing. I don't have any issue with the proposed design. I think it's fine as is. And I think that's all that I have, at least for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. Steve?
Yeah, I just have a couple of a few more things. Going back to the parking lot and the fence. Regarding section 537A, I had a slightly different read of the bylaw. The parts that sort of jumped out to me were 537A5, which basically says that section 537A does not take precedence over the setback requirements for parking lots in section 6.1. And 537A6, which says that the screening requirements in 537A don't supersede the screening provisions in 6.1 for any area used with more than 5 parking spaces. So I think that section 6.1 is really what governs parking in this case. So the requirements in 6.1 are to be 10 feet back, which can be reduced to 5 if a wooden fence 5 feet, between 5 and 6 feet tall, is provided. So I agree with my colleague. I think because the bylaw specifically calls out a wooden fence, a white wooden fence I think would be preferable to white PVC.
Yep, we're open to any make and model.
Okay.
If it's
Okay.
a wood stockade, if it's a white PVC,
Right.
to us, it's
No, that's fine.
amenable to.
I appreciate that. This may be a question for staff. There was a sustainability narrative. The copy I downloaded from our agenda did not have a lead checklist.
That's correct, Steve. That was, sorry, excuse me. The lead checklist is listed separately with the agenda items. I'm happy to pull that up if you'd like.
Oh, okay. No, just as long as we got it.
Yeah, there should be a checklist in there that we did based off the integrated process, yeah.
Right.
All right, and I think everything else I had made note of has been addressed. Oh, one last thing. I do want to compliment you on your choice for using river birches. They're really lovely trees, so thank you for that. Nothing further, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Let me clarify a few things. Some of the stuff that you would answer today from the board, I like to have that documented on the drawings and resubmitted. However, the vote comes out either for another hearing or continuance for another hearing, or a new package to be submitted for administrative approval. Either way, I want it documented such that what they've asked and you've answered. Okay, I think they were good answers and so forth, but I just want it formalized that way. I'll have a list of things that I also like to add to it. Touch based on what Shannon said earlier, I want you to indicate the extent of work on the site, where does your loom stop? Where does the existing paving goes on, and the detail and how you're going to treat that? Are you going to saw cut what's existing there and just cut it and leave it alone? Or you can put a curb there? Does the grass come up to it? What's the elevation of the grass? What's the elevation of the existing? Guys, show me those details. I don't want that to be a trip hazard. I don't want drainage from the existing parking lot to flow into the loom area, because you're not showing any indication what's going on there, okay? Right now on your signage, you're taking the existing sign, monument sign down. I congratulate on that because it's right in the middle of the sidewalk right now. So moving it is a good thing. But right now, your document submitted shows two different versions of the monument sign. I think what you by your explanation is it's a much thinner one on the side, not as beefy pilasters on each side of the sign. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the signage package right
Yes.
there.
But your renderings that you submitted still show these big pilasters on each side of that sign. If it's different, you got to cross it out or do something so there's no confusion, because I don't want to come back later on and say, well, it's right here, you guys approved it.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay?
Certainly,
No,
it
I'm just
accurate.
trying to
Yep.
go over what I'm asking of you right now, and I'm trying to make it clear. And if it's not, then tell me why. Okay.
Okay.
There are three types of fencing that surround your property right now. On the right-hand side, before it gets to the building, it's a vinyl fencing, and it comes right to the corner of the building and stops right there. Then from the back of the building, all the way to the corner and around, up on the hill, it's a chain link fence. But they're not continuous. They're not the same kind of chain link fence. One's a much lower chain link fence, which I don't even believe is on your property. It's the neighbor's chain link fence, the way you're showed on your drawings here. So if you can do any work there, you need some sort of agreement that you can do something with that chain link fence, or you're creating your own fence on the other side. You have to tell us what you're doing.
Okay.
All right. On that chain link fence that's behind you, there used to be two paths that go back there. One goes right into a driveway, and the other one's in the corner of the property that goes into believes the neighbor's backyard. I didn't want to walk back behind people's property, but it goes somewhere, okay? Is your intention to block those things off and no longer, I think it's done that way right now, but
Yes.
I just want you, but the pathway's still there. It's a paved pathway that the chain link fence went over. So if that's gonna go away as
Yep,
part of the site improvements,
yeah, that'll be going away.
please state that on your drawings,
Okay.
okay?
Yep. We'll show the existing and the removal.
Yes, just so we know exactly what you're doing, all right? When you, on your landscaping plans, you say we're gonna cut back some existing trees to make it better. I wish your landscaping plans tell me what, there's a lot of trees there that are not native and invasive trees. I prefer you said we're gonna cut down those non-native and invasive trees. You know what I'm talking about, though, I don't know what the name you call them, but the pussy willows, the ones that, that's not anybody wants. And I think there's like 2 or 3 of them there. If you're gonna get rid of those, great. And what you plan to plant, your lower shrubs or whatever, that would be great. Getting on to the building itself. You right now don't show any indication of signage for the other tenant. So the amount of signage you show right now in your signage package, is that the total amount that's allowed for your side of the rental space? I'm going to ask more as
Yes.
the planning board for that. Did you guys review it for that, and is that compliant?
We reviewed the sign, excuse me. We reviewed the signage. The signage that they are proposing would be the total signage that would be allowable for the building,
For the whole building?
for the whole building.
So if the other tenant is going to put some sort of signage up, they're not allowed to by us approving your signage. So you said that place there is going to be a repair shop or whatever retail spaces in the future. They have to have some sort of allowance for some sort of signage. So I can't, in all righteousness, approve what you have there. because you maxed it out, where the other tenant can get nothing.
Understood.
Okay? So you're gonna have to reach a fair balance somewhere there and show us on the drawings. Here's what they have, here's what we have, we're within the requirements, okay? What Vince talked about earlier, yes, show the light going the other way, or if not, put a note there, writing on saying, the picture is shown upside down, it would be installed in reverse. Something, not, I don't want to just you saying it on the meeting here, okay? If I go back on the building itself, I want you to show me what the limit of what you guys are doing on the outside of the building. Are those storefronts that's on the right of all the retail space staying as is? Or is it going to be new windows?
Yep, the intention is the entire envelope is going to be new.
So the
One
entire
can-
envelope's going to be new?
Yeah.
Can you show that to me and tell me and point out what are those wood windows, vinyl windows, aluminum windows, storefronts? Just
Yep, it's indicated in the elevations, and we also brought a material board here, but the idea is to have one uniform-looking building,
can you show me that?
all renovated.
I didn't have it in my package. Is it on elevation
There should-
somewhere?
in the plan set, there should be elevations, and there should be a finish schedule in the top right corner. Right, yep, right there. So each tab is indicating the type of material, and the finish schedule is in the top right.
And it says, if I'm used to seeing an arrow pointing to the window saying, referring to the legend.
Yeah, there is. Should say STFR1. Can't see it from here, but
These three windows here? Is that something?
no, it's pointed on the other side. But if you want, I see what you're saying. If you want us to delineate, show,
I need to know if those are new windows or old windows.
Okay.
Clear story's new or old, right? Just showing it.
yep, no problem.
Then they go over here, you should indicate you're infilling the existing bathroom door there, right?
Yep.
Keeping the window there. Is
Yes.
that a new window?
That's existing.
So the existing window's staying,
Yes.
no new window.
No addition of a window. It'll be a new window in the sense of replacement, but not new.
Show it to me.
Okay, no
Say,
problem.
New window in the existing opening.
Sure. We'll
Okay.
provide much more detail on the throughout.
These things here are same?
Those will be
New
replaced.
windows in the
Replaced.
Existing opening,
Those will be replaced.
okay. And these are lights?
Correct. Building lights.
And we have cut sheets valves?
They are on the lighting package.
We do have cut sheets.
Only
for
two
those.
style
Would you
lights.
like to see
The
them?
building
Yeah.
down lights and the,
I didn't catch it. Just point to them like with a note saying,
Yep.
light,
yep, no problem.
whatever, okay? It's these lights here,
Yes.
that, down, not up.
Down,
Up and down,
yep,
right?
yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay. You see you have a material board there? Can we, you have to spend a few minutes to show us the material board? And thank you for bringing the material board.
So we have the elevation up, which is perfect. Majority of the building is going to be a 4-inch hardy board, which is a cement siding, pre-finished in white. So it's your traditional colonial lap siding shown here. All the new windows and doors throughout, which we will label more, are going to be black, pre-finished black Conair storefront, standard traditional storefront windows. This is just a cut piece of the actual frame itself. So those will basically be anything that is has window or door affiliated frame is going to be this. So that it's all going to be continuous. And then pretty much all of the trim throughout is going to be your either 5/4 or your 3/4 PVC AZEK style trim. That's going to be painted in white as well. And this indicates the upper portion, obviously a smaller size, but the upper portion of our recessed PVC panel on the towers where the signage will be. So pretty much a monolithic, all white style.
Is the glazing or like an OE or some sort of film on it, or?
The glazing, yeah, will be solar band, low E, meet all the energy ratings. The glazing at the tower, for CCC regulations, will have to be frosted. And then the windows going into the front of are above 6 feet to meet the CCC.
Can you show that next time you
Sure.
submit the drawings? What windows are frosted, what windows are not?
Sure.
Because it's gonna look, I don't know, there's kind of funky. One side is gonna be frosted, the other side is not frosted.
It's the balance of, we'd
I
love to do all the glazing.
know your regulations, so
We'd love to do all the glazing and have all windows, but it's the
maybe
balance.
it's all frosted, so, I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at that, because
Sure.
I don't wanna approve something that's, they'll say, oh,
Gotcha.
did we look at that, you know? Right.
Revise these rendering and then do also the color
Right.
renderings for more detail.
Yep. Also, I want, sorry, should I go back like that so you can hear me up here? So I'm good? Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Bruce? Also?
Yes,
Question?
that one's fine, thank you very much for bringing that in. Your dumpster pad in the back, I need to know more details of that. How is that secured? Okay, is it a chain link fence, is a top to it? Is there something surrounding the thing? It cannot be, I don't want to allow dumpster diving because it's a marijuana plant, okay? So just show me a detail of what, I'm asking for answers now, okay? I'm just explaining my
Yep.
concerns.
Yep.
Okay?
Gotcha.
And then, in the past, when we approved these projects that had internal trash rooms that were stored medical stuff. This is sort of medical. I'm not sure, it's because it's changed recreation, I'm not sure now, okay? But they had an internal storage for trash. Then when trash day came, they would just manually bring it out there. They don't need certain things out. And you don't have no room for it right now. And I'm not sure, can we check to see if that's a
Yeah,
requirement?
There's no cultivation or open flower, so there's no requirement for the CCC to have a secure waste interior, and everything's prepackaged and is shipped in and out prepackaged. Anything that's not used is shipped back to the facility.
I just want to, we'll check on that part, okay? If it is, we're gonna require it, okay? If it isn't, then we'll be fine, okay?
No problem.
My other question is this. Right now, they have a lot of deliveries. You don't come shopping, you just go online, you order it, and then someone picks it up and then drop off at your house. Is there allocation room for that in your plans where there is a shipping area?
Pre-order, yes.
Where?
Yes, so one of the POS stations will be dedicated to.
Do we switch those?
So there's six POS stations. Sorry, not delivery, but it's online pre-order. So it'd be as if you pre-order a meal and go to pick it up, say your name, and it's ready to go. That's going to expedite customer exchange and time in store.
That's pickup, but so you're not having any deliveries?
No deliveries.
So there's no van that comes up and then they put stuff into the van and they drive to their house and they drop it off at the guy's house?
No,
There's no plan to do that whatsoever?
no. This is all just local and retail.
Okay, I just want to get an understanding, because some places do that. And they just don't make sure you have something to take that if you do have that, but you're not planning on that. Okay. I think that's enough for now. We can come back and talk about more amongst ourselves in a minute. I'm going to open up this comments to the public right now. And do you mind just giving a little room for them to come up? And does anyone from the public wish to come and speak? Please raise your hand. Please come up there and state your name and address. You'll be next, ma'am, okay? You'll be next.
In the drawing.
Can you sit, can you come,
My house is right there.
can you just come up and state your name and address, and then we'll start? I just want to get it on the record.
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Oh, you're fine.
Ready? My name is Kathy Walsh. I'm a fourth-generation, 67-year resident of Arlington, a homeowner and a resident of Pine Avenue for almost 47 years.
Kathy, would you speak a bit more into the microphone?
We raised a family on Pine Ave, even had grandchildren living here as well. My history dates back to my paternal grandfather, an architect of the Capitol Theater Square building. My paternal grandfather was a carpenter for the Arlington Public Works Department. My maternal grandfather owned and operated W.F. McManus Auto Repairing on
Can I remind you
Mystic
that you have
Street
2 minutes?
in
to comment?
Arlington at Cook's Hollow. My father, Joseph Cormier, after his passing in March of 1996, the Blue Gymnasium at the high school was renamed in his honor due to his many years of dedication and support for far too many of the organizations in Arlington to mention. I feel betrayed by the town officials turning their backs on the wants and needs of the neighborhood I have called home for 47 years. The town I have supported and loved seems to value revenue instead of residents' happiness. Personally, I never voted for the legal retail sales marijuana in the state of Massachusetts, nor did I vote for retail sales in Arlington. I am very disappointed in the Select Board's approval of this type of establishment at this location. This is a neighborhood of families. It is a walking route for children to and from Stratton School, Otterson Junior High School, Arlington High School, to the Ed Burns skating rink, to Buzzell, Buck, Summer Street Fields, and the new mountain bike park at the corner of Washington Street and Summer Street, where tragically a motorcyclist was killed last year just yards away from 251 Summer Street. It seems the Select Board quietly approved this application during the pandemic while people were focused on living and not concerned with how the town of Arlington was trying to find new sources of revenue. I have spoken to many residents of Arlington, some who signed a petition objecting to the retail marijuana store, some who would just verbally support the opposition and this type of establishment setting up shop at this address. Some I spoke with are town meeting members. They're shocked at the chosen location. Although they don't object to marijuana, they never thought that this type of establishment would set up in residential areas. There are also many issues that need to be addressed. Without going into detail, I have listed a few of them. Traffic issues, cash and carry, as marijuana is still federally illegal and is required to be a cash-only business, resulting in large quantities of cash on hand, robberies, putting neighborhoods in jeopardy for crime, security issues, drug use in neighborhoods, and let's not be naive to think this is not going to happen. Lighting issues, parking lot lights shining in our homes, security cameras invading our privacy, advertising so out-of-town customers will shop there, leading to congestion, again, creating more traffic issues. Concern this will negatively impact our property values. Without any notification to abutters of this proposal, the Select Board approved the host community agreement during their January 10th, 2022 meeting. My husband and I were informed by a friend that this was going to occur. How can a decision so important to the residential neighborhood be voted on and approved quietly by our town officials? At the first and only meeting on February 17, 2022, abutters were informed by Calyx Peak representative that this organization was interested in opening a marijuana dispensary at 251 Summer Street. No abutter at that meeting was in favor of this proposal. At this meeting, nothing was stated that the owner of the present business would be sharing this space. The original application is for Calyx Peak to be the only business at this location. The current application is for, with the current business sharing the property with the marijuana dispensary.
Thank you,
As
your
I
time's up.
stated, this is not the original plan
Thank you, your
submitted.
time's up, ma'am, okay? Someone else wants to speak? Please come up and state your name and address, please. Please speak in the microphone. State your name and address, please.
Good evening. Can you hear me now? Good evening, everyone. My name is Xiaoqing Yang. My property is located at 277 and 279 Summer Street, which is right there at the very left corner you see on the screen there. Between the building, that was just the driveway. Yeah, that's my house. So, Director Rieger, thank you so much for the conversations we had the other days. Do you mind to pull my email up? The email I sent today, I just wanted to show my pictures that shows my house with the location of the marijuana shop.
Might be the end of the agenda meetings here.
Yeah, it's at the end of the agenda. Hold on.
Oh, this one doesn't include
Is
my
that what you're looking
house.
for?
This one doesn't include my house, but still, you can see that the right on the very left side shows a building. That's our house. It's two houses there, 277 and 279. And then the upper one is 281. So my house has over 100 feet. It's longer than 100, maybe 120 feet, directly a building to that dispensary, marijuana dispensary. Yes. So all the activities is going to happen right in front of our house. Our doors, our windows are directly facing the parking lot. The 13 cars were right in front of my house, right in front of me. Every time when I open the doors, I see them. When I go through the window, I see them. So this is a very important that we adjust the privacy and the noise come from opening and closing the door, the car doors. That I'm glad to hear some good conversations about fencing and then screening. Thank you, Shanna and Vincent and Stephen and Mr. Lu for asking the questions. Feels like that clear. They are willing to do some sort of screenings and or wall or fence. Do you mind to scroll down all the way? I wanted to see. Yeah, that is the picture. So I wanted to make a point. Yes, a wooden fence will be good, but we will not have the fence to install it in the bottom of the hill because my house is about 5 or 6 feet high on the hill. If the fence were directly installed in the bottom of the garage, will not help much at all because we could see anything down there we can see from the hill, see everything. So our kids will not able to go out to the driveway and the yard. So we have a backyard, it's also deep down, but it's also adjacent to this property. So we like to propose something that to have a retaining wall, maybe 5 or 4 feet, and then have the fence behind that 6 feet high. So that will block the view to give us a good privacy protections there. And of course, in the front and the backs, we like to have a lot of evergreen trees. But I will be open to other types of trees. But I wanted to mention is that if it's not evergreens, we don't get the noise protection in the winter because the trees die down and all the leaves are gone and everything will be see-through again. So we wanted to have as much evergreen tree as possible. So that's just the point about the fencing for the privacy and the noise prevention. The other point I wanted to make is the safety of our driveway. Do you mind, Director Clear, to go up a little bit, go back up to that design? So this current design, you don't see our driveway because they plan to plant some high trees right near the exit, which will block the way. I think it's good to have a sign improvement, but I think it's in the wrong place. I think everything that closer, maybe 10 feet closer to the Summer Street should be very low, or even garden, like flowers, so that will not block anything. We wanted to see the cars on the Summer Street so we can prevent to hitting them. And also cars on the Summer Street will want to see us. They don't want it suddenly to see a car coming down the hill. A couple months ago, my neighbor, Mr. Lu, had a car accident when he was driving down the hill. The cars on the streets was not paying attention, just hit him right away.
You're running out of time soon, okay?
I'm out of time?
Soon.
Okay, so that was just my concern, just the safety of the driveway, and that I suggest that the exit of the dispenser store move away from our driveways, more closer to where the other entries, because that will allow us more time to react when the car's driving out of the dispensary shops. Right now, because we are on the hill, if they go just so close near our driveway, their cars will be hidden by the ledge on the hill. So there are some ledges on the hill behind, right on the left side of our driveway. So you don't want that. So the best way to prevent accident is moving the exits to more closer to the current entries of the other store. And I don't understand why we need 2 entries anyway.
Thank you. Your time's up.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you for all your help.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yuxi Chen. We live in 281 Summer Street. So we are the residents there. We know the local conditions very well. Okay, just last November, my husband was hit by an out-of-town driver who was absent-mindedly rushing down the street, speeding. Okay, and our car was turned 180 degrees, that impact. And he was lucky he was not killed. But our car was totaled. And we had to walk to the store to buy necessities after that. And in one of my walks, I saw another car accident site where there was a kind of memory for the killed person, as Kathy mentioned. So that street is already very congested, especially during the rush hours. I didn't have time to upload or send in a photo about the traffic, but I have photos, and I'm planning to take more photos. Okay. Often, almost whenever we go out to the driveway, from the driveway to the street, we see the cars lining in front of us. Now, you propose this dispensary right in that parking lot, and you said that was a gas station before. So there were people coming and going before, but that is totally different. Those people are most likely from the local neighbors. And now, if we have this store, a lot of people from other areas will come, and they are probably, looking for the place and just want to get high or whatever. So there could be a lot more traffic accidents. And by the way, the accident happened right in front of that gas station. Well, that site right now is very congested. Okay, every time we go out, we see a car right in front of the driveway. That's how busy that street is. And I have a problem with the proposed entry and exit, a second one. So I wonder why you need a second one. Why don't you use the older one? If you say your traffic is not going to, your store will not increase the traffic, why don't you use the older one? Come in and go out from another, in the original design. So why do you need a second one right close to our driveway? That is really bothering me a lot, because that's just very dangerous, very dangerous. So that's my major concern. Of course, there is another concern. This is a residential neighborhood. There are a lot of young kids coming and going, and they go to the bikeway, they go to high school, or they go to the elementary school, and that dispensary is right there in front of them. That's such a bad influence for our younger generations. And I hope that the development board and the chair, and I know you have mentioned several things that they could do to prevent that young kids, having more bad influence. So that's my other concern. But my major concern is the traffic. That is already a congested area. We live there, we know it. And if there are 150 cars coming and going every day, that's not as for the gas station before.
Your time will be coming up soon.
That many people. Sure. Okay. So that's my major concern. That entry is really blocking our driveway, and that is going to be a huge trouble. Even now, we see cars blocking our driveway all the time. And now you add another entry and exit, and more of 150 people coming and going. How can we go out every day? And how can we avoid all those, absent-minded people who are just rushing down the street or, I don't know. So I hope that the town will reconsider, or you can reconsider your plan, especially the entry and exit.
Thank you. You, sir? Excuse me?
Yeah, for a second, I just wanted to speak to her for one moment. Did you really have a phone? You share a video with her?
He did not share a video, but we did have a conversation.
Oh.
On Slides, but I don't have
Okay, I
it.
don't know if we have something we ever showed.
Sorry.
Please state your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Michael Walsh. I live at 17 Pine Ave, Arlington, Mass. I've lived there for 47 years.
Could you pull up, Mike, we're trying to telegraph for the people at home.
I'm sorry? Oh,
We're,
okay,
we're
sorry.
trying to
Okay.
broadcast people at home, not only here, so
Okay,
thank you.
can you hear that? Is that better?
We good? Thank you.
Okay. So Michael Walsh, 17 Pine Ave, Arlington, Mass. I have a few different, quite a few different problems with the plan here. There is a major issue. I've presented. I've sent a letter with some details and some graphs. I've met with the town engineer about drainage. The area we're talking about, the entire parking lot, et cetera, is the low point in that area. There's a map that was provided by the town engineer showing there was open ditches there before where water used to migrate, and that's where it would collect. And then in 1977, the owner of the property petitioned the town to install concrete piping to the drain in the back of the property line, which is how it was directed to be done by the town. And they ran concrete pipe from that location to the other storm drain and then to the town storm drain. And that is how the water leaves that area. So this has been corrected already. Any reverse, that video I mentioned I will provide it, I'll get it to you somehow, but it shows clearly the water comes down Pines Ave and the natural low point is there, and that's where it's always been. It's been moved by the town, and the catch basin is critical. If that was to go, there will be no place for the water to go. It would come down Pine Avenue, and build up. I heard the conversation about drainage and how it is now, and I can guarantee you that the storm drain at the back of that property there'll be 12 inches to 16 inches higher. When that's blocked, the water will get 12 or 16 inches higher, will rise up across the parking lot. Well, if the other drain at the front of the parking lot they're talking about reusing stays, that one, if that's blocked, the water rushes across Summer Street, and I've seen it going across at 3 inches in height. So it creates a tremendous traffic hazard. And that's how much water can go down that road. It's a very important point. The other issues I have is the dumpster in the loading dock area. That they're trying to build off the back of the existing property to put something closer to. You guys are the experts, but to get closer to the property, it's making it more non-conforming, right? The property now will be closer to the building does not go that far to close to the property line, but they want to build something else in that space where it should be a buffer zone. The other part of it was. I know when the select board did a lot of their research, there was, after the fact, we found out about this, as my wife stated, and we went back and were able to find some more information. And there was quite a bit of study done. We were unaware of it. I don't know why a direct abutter wouldn't be notified, but that's the case. And as well as my neighbors here have stated, they didn't know about it either. So, but in any case, there was security, and I did watch a video at the selectmen's meeting, which is still available, I believe, on YouTube. I've recounted the address in my letter to the board, and it talks about the original presentation, which was a one business operation. It was not a two business operation. But security is extensive. They have a security advisor. They made it was a very important points that they were trying to make to allow this property to be used for this purpose. And it appears that, I don't know, it doesn't seem how you're going to have an auto business next to this to a cannabis outlet, if it was as important as it was at that time, it seems like it's become less of a concern, but I don't understand why that would be. The single business has been an issue, and I think I think the board has addressed this, and I spent some time going back in history to try to find out where I had read some different things, and I was able to find in August 28th of 2023, the redevelopment board told Calyx Peak, it's in all the minutes, I have a copy if you'd like to see it, that to go back to the other approving authorities because they changed the plan so much from what they presented to the select board that they had to be reapproved by the Board of Health, the fire department, the police department, and the select board. And I have a document here I can give you for that. So my biggest concern again is the drainage, because that's a critical thing for us, because the water, if it's in the video, will show how it comes down into my property, and then it migrates through, as it always has, into the other property, and it went into those drains and got handled that way, and the town has found a solution that works pretty well. But if it gets reversed or it doesn't get taken care of, it'll be a problem again. I'm a little concerned about the dumpster in the loading dock at the back of the property. I don't think anyone wants to have a dumpster next to their property, especially when they've never had one there before. And it's in a place that's been an open space. The present owner stores snow plows there, typically, and but now it's going to be reused. I understand that, but that doesn't mean it can now be used to have an activity there. There's no activity for snow plow. It sits there 9 months of the year and it goes out on occasion. The other thing would be presently along the fencing. I appreciate all of your input, really, because I was really quite impressed by what you had to say about the questions you were asking and the points you were trying to make, and I was very pleased to hear that. But the fencing between my property and the gas station is presently the chain link fence, but now, as my neighbor had mentioned, there's going to be a lot more activity, so cars coming in and out all different times, headlights during the day, at night, whatever, early in the winter season when it gets dark early, there'll be headlights in and out coming into facing our property as they turn and come in, and there will be a little more noise for sure, so we're hoping that there'll be something that could be a solid PVC fence or something that would still allow the water to get through as it has to, that would help block out the headlights. And the site lighting, I was there when they put them in. The site lights on the property were put in. They used them for about 2 months, and they haven't been used in 30 years. So good luck. As far as Mr. Lau, your point about delivery, I'm not sure what's changed, but the original plan says the plan was to be delivering from that spot with a van. That's what it says in the documents. So I'm not sure if that's not going to be the case anymore, then I guess so be it. But it was part of the plan. I also look back to thinking about the zoning board, et cetera, and the point of a variance and a special permit is typically when there's a hardship. There's some reason you can't do something. Somebody has a hardship. They maybe need a wheelchair ramp when they didn't have the space to put it in before, or something of that nature. So it'd certainly be understandable to do something like that. This property, according to the documents submitted by Calyx Peak, the first year of operation is going to do $6 million in gross revenue. And it hasn't started yet, obviously, but this year, the statement said it will be $9 million. There's no reason they can't put a conforming structure on that property. As, Vincent may have, I don't know your last name, but had mentioned the property could be much better used. I don't understand, there's things in place for reasons and to help people who need it, but a business that has that kind of revenue projections of their own of their own projections, nobody else's projections, that's their documents, they can well afford to put something conforming to help them to make the area pleasing to the neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there anybody else which likes to speak? Seeing none, I close public comment. I'm going to return back to the board for discussions. I do want to make a couple of comments. One is, it's out of our purview for looking at the use of a marijuana retail space that was approved by town. We have no control over that whatsoever. As far as approval of the site and the agreement, that's down with the select board. We don't have control over that. That's not within our control. The only thing we can do is make sure that what is approved by the town fits in with the neighbors best they can. Keep in mind that this was an existing business zone, and it's always been that way. It's not like something that was developed after you guys bought your houses. It was always there. It's been there for a long time. So we are trying our best to make this fit in as best we can. So I'm just want to state that right now. Yes, you can. As long as you're handing me something, not.
That's agenda 4.
What's this?
That's the zoning board meetings from October, from August 20, redevelopment board meeting minutes from August 28th, 2023.
Believe it or not, I was there. I was on the board. Okay, thank you. We will take that into consideration too, okay?
I appreciate
Yeah.
all your help and thoroughness.
Are there any other comments from the board here? Steve?
Yeah, I'll share a personal anecdote. It may be useful, it may be not, but I'm going to share it anyway. So when I first moved to town, at the end of my street, there was a credit union. Had an ATM, used to go there, get cash. Some years later, the ATM closed, and it's now become one of our 2 marijuana dispensaries at the end of my street. There are 3 differences between the credit union and the marijuana dispensary. Number 1, there's a different sign because it's not a credit union, it's a dispensary. Different name of the business. Number 2 is the window treatment, because dispensaries have to have opaque windows, so they have, rather than office windows that you could see in, it's windows that you can't see in. And number 3, which affected me the most, is there's no longer an ATM. In my experience, now I understand the concern about the new business moving in, but in my personal experience of living down the street from one of these things, it's a very low-key business. There has not been traffic or crime or crazy amounts of automobile congestion. So that is my anecdote. Similarly I'm a bicycle commuter. I go by Apotheca, the one in the Heights, every day. Again, it's a bigger facility, but there's not riffraff or shenanigans going on. It looks like, well, it's a building with a bunch of frosted glass that you can't really see it. I think my gut feeling is that there will be less impact than you may be fearing.
Steve, I'll also share something with you. Prior to this meeting, I did reach out to the Arlington Police Department and asked them, do they have any concerns about traffic, crime, and so forth with the other 2 dispensaries that we have in town already? They have not gone back to me yet. I will endeavor to get back to them before our next hearing. Just to share with you, I did ask about that. Vince, see anything you want to add?
Well, yeah, let me say, first of all, thank you to everyone who spoke. I heard a lot of the concerns about traffic, noise, safety, drainage, other impacts. It is, as Ken said, it is a business district, and we have so little business space in town that we can't go around telling businesses that they can't have customers arrive at their stores. But we can try to find reasonable ways to mitigate the impacts on the neighborhood. I did want to ask one question of the applicants that just came to mind, which was why 13 parking spaces? I know I'm putting you on the spot. I believe that's more than is required.
I think that they wanted to have ample parking, so there wouldn't be any queuing on Summer Street. There's nowhere to park really. I drive down Summer Street every day, and you wouldn't want cars parked on the sidewalk. I represented SCAR that Steve was just speaking to. There was plenty of parking along Broadway.
Mary, can you come to speak so the folks at home can hear this too, please?
Part of it, Vince, was because they didn't want any queuing on Summer Street. I represented SCAR before the ZBA. That was a ZBA special permit. And the difference there is there's plenty of parking down by the cemetery across the street at Broadway. So it's a little different. So they thought more spaces here was appropriate.
Any guess on the part of the business operator of how many spaces would actually be occupied at any one time?
It's hard to say.
Sure. I think that my only comment is that if the board is inclined to ask them to come back, we have asked for some more detail on things like the elevations, and there might be, if they're considering any revisions to the signage plan, which I don't know whether they would or not. And the third thing might be the screening and fencing that we've asked for. I think it'd be nice to see a second look at that in the interest of addressing the kind of concerns of the neighbors, and as well as just improving the existing condition, which is, not that great. So those three things might make me think that we might be reasonable to have them back. As far as the drainage, I think I'm comfortable just leaving it between the applicant and the town engineer, but adding, making sure that we do require them to coordinate with the town engineer. That's where I am at the moment.
Thank you, Vince. I'm in very strong feelings about having them come back. I don't think I can approve this project right now as is. Just to share my opinion, Vince. Shannon?
I would essentially echo what Vince has said. I think there are a few things here that would be good to see to make this more tenable to the neighbors. But I do think that those are items that can likely be managed with some work on the applicant's part.
So, do we have a motion for continuance here?
Well,
or do you want to? Do we want to vote?
Can I? Would it be useful if I listed the things that I heard and
Yes.
And you all can tell me if I've missed anything?
I have a list too, so we can compare
Wonderful.
notes.
Go ahead and I'll.
Okay.
Sarah.
So,
Yes.
So the things that we had discussed were a different fence material, like wood. Working with the town engineer to verify that the stormwater management system will be adequate for the site. Having a landscape architect evaluate the possibility for more or different plantings along the parking lot buffer. Indicating the extent of work on the site and details of the boundary position, transitions between this half and the automotive use. Striping off the loading area. Clarifying the design of the monument sign because there are, I think, 2 in the current plans. In the case of the rear where there is an existing chain link fence, some details on how the new fencing will relate to that existing one. Indicating the paved walkway path to be removed. This was the one Mr. Lau had mentioned. I guess it comes from the back.
From adjacent property. I don't know whose property that is. Was that your property that there's a paved walkway there from the driveway? Yeah.
That's where the water goes to.
Well, that's like a paved walkway, though.
It's a piece of concrete, yes.
Yes. Okay.
We put that in at the request of the previous tenant because we
John.
had farmhouse
Okay.
there. Used to, when the water rushed down the street, it would wash into the parking lot, and they were constantly cleaning it up, and we were constantly replacing it. So, try to
Thank you.
smaller, right near the drain.
Okay.
Go ahead, Steve.
So, detailing which trees will be removed. Providing an allowance for the other business tenant to have signs. Some sort of indication that the gooseneck lighting will be mounted to point down.
Can I just amend that to say both lighting fixtures, because the other building mounted light fixture is an uplight downlight, and the model you specified is an uplight and downlight, so making sure that it's only a downlight.
Adding more details to the plans regarding windows, specifically what is existing, which will be replaced with new windows, and which will be entirely new window openings. Verifying that we have 12-inch vertical clearance above and below the wall signs. Indicating which windows will be frosted and which will be not, and which will not be. Providing details for the dumpster screening and how the dumpster will be secured. And that is my list.
Can I add something there? Going back to the fencing, can you talk to your neighbors to see who owns the fence? The fence that's along the hill, according to your plans, are up on the hill. They're not yours. It's beyond your property line.
Can I make a comment? Yes, I own the chain link, and it's right inside my property line. About the new fence they're gonna do, it will be on their property side and then will not touch mine.
That's
I
fine.
would like to see trees, not.
That's fine.
fence.
We'll get to that.
Yes.
But then also there's the 5-foot high fence along the backside. Is that yours or is it the neighbors? I just think the neighbors put it in there so kids would be cutting across the property, because there seems to be two paths back there that cuts across the property. One thing is, I want a little bit more than just a promise that you're going to work out the drainage with the town engineer. I want a note from him saying that what you guys have here is adequate. He has said that what you have here is not. Yes, okay. Not only in the back, but in the front. You have a catch basin in the front, right in your driveway there. I would say all the street water goes right in that. Now, once you put that curb in there, what happens to that catch basin? Is it on the thing? Was it offset? Or you gotta show me something that the town will approve. Sorry, Steve.
I have nothing further.
Shannon, you gonna add something else?
Just a couple. One is provide a site lighting study or some information about expected light spill onto abutting properties. Proposed snow storage location. Clean up the note on the pylon sign to indicate that it's removed, not relocated. And confirm that all of the bike parking details are what you intend them to be. And I think, let me just check, I think I had one more. Curbing at the edge of the parking lot.
Also, one more thing. we will check on our side is a internal trash room required or not. We'll check into that, but if you guys come up with something, that'd be helpful too. I just remember that the last two we approved had internal trash rooms that they taught us. Our next available date is September 14th. Do I have a motion for that? Steve?
Is that date?
September 14th?
Yes.
That's correct.
That's our next open date. I'm sorry. It's just, the summer's just not, been really busy for us. Will that work? Did that give you guys enough time?
Oh, I'm gonna be out of the country on the 14th.
28?
September 28th? Will that work for you guys?
Great.
So, Mr. Chair, I move to continue the hearing for docket 3902, 251 Summer Street, Calyx Peak, to September 28th.
Do we have a second here,
Second.
please? Steve?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
I'm a yes too. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you wait? Can you let us finish the meeting first? And then I'll stay as long as you want to talk, okay? I will, okay? But just let me finish the meeting, okay? Thank you. Next on the agenda is open forum. Does anyone want to speak in open forum? Seeing none, I close open forum. The next on the agenda is new business. Claire, do you have any business?
I do have a little bit of new business that we talked about at our prior meeting. The new member of the ARB was confirmed by the select board at their previous meeting. Her name is Michelle Shortsleeve, and she will be joining you on the 20th. That will be her first meeting.
But she was confirmed prior to this meeting.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Correct.
And the 20th is the meeting that I will be absent, so there'll be 4 people here.
Correct. No other new business at this time.
Okay. Steve?
Nothing this week.
Sure?
Yes.
Vince?
Nothing for me.
Shannon?
Nothing.
I have nothing too. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Steve?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
Great.
Thank you.